Abercrombie-Winstanley, a Middle East expert, senior fellow at the Atlantic Council, and a former US ambassador. Hello to you, Gina.
Good morning to you.
Um,
Later, yes.
what do you think? What do you expect? It's a very difficult question because obviously Donald Trump has moved about a lot, shall we say, diplomatically on this. I mean, he was clearly venting a lot of frustration yesterday in that post on Truth Social where he dropped an F bomb. But what do you think what kind of tone do you think he might take today?
Well, he is going to give a press conference, I think, in a couple of hours, and he has shown himself to be able to, in the same sentence almost, to say we're winning and we're going to bomb more. So I believe we should expect more of the same. Mixed messaging is his sweet spot, as it were, on a variety of issues, certainly on this war. Someone counted, I think we'd heard 17 separate times that we have either won the war or
Mm.
winning the war at the same time as the complaints about Iran not doing what it should to make it easy for us to wrap up and walk away. So, mixed messaging is what I expect in short, perhaps a re emphasis on the threat he put out there, the impending deadline. But we've already heard him say he expects successful talks to be concluded by the end of today. So,
Okay.
we'll.
Well, I'm going to come back to that in a second, but just to pursue that point, just quickly. I know this happened yesterday, but it's very interesting to hear what you think. I mean, mixed messages. I mean, he said if Iran don't open the effing Strait of Hormuz, Tuesday would be power plant day, bridge day, all wrapped up in one. To do it, or you'll be living in hell. There was another word in there that we can't repeat, and wrapped it up by saying "Praise be to Allah." Calling it the effing Strait of Hormuz, is that presidential language in your opinion?
Clearly not. It was unfortunate. He showed his frustration, which is also unpresidential in a state of war, and regrettable. I think it sent a signal to the Iranians that they are getting to him, as it were. His frustration that his earliest expectations of a quick wrap up are not panning out. The Chinese have a saying about riding the tiger. It's easier to get on than to get off. And certainly, I believe both sides might be experiencing this. We cannot underestimate the pressure that is on the Iranian regime, the destruction that is being meted out on the country, on its leadership,
Mm.
on its military and industrial capabilities. Both sides are facing pressure.
Now, on this current potential ceasefire plan that we are led to believe that US and Iran have received from Pakistan, who are kind of uh, in the middle of all of this and trying to negotiate or trying to kind of be the intermediaries rather. Um, if this is, and again we're second guessing, if they say okay, there's going to be a temporary ceasefire, but you need to open the Strait of Hormuz, and Iran are very much minded not to. How likely is it that Donald Trump would accept that?
I believe there are very few people indeed who think that the plan, as currently outlined, and of course we haven't seen it ourselves, but is going to get the Iranians to agree. They've been very clear no temporary ceasefire. They've seen Gaza,
Mm.
they've seen Lebanon. Ceasefires are not necessarily adhered to, and the points that are there do not appear to bind Israel to them as well. This is the United States agreeing to a ceasefire. So it's highly unlikely. I would be shocked that the Iranians agreed to that. Now, there are other ways. They could open the Strait of Hormuz. That doesn't mean they might not still be charging for it, or there might be an immediate unfreezing of assets, something that allows the Iranians to point to their demand of getting compensation for war having been declared on them and the damage that was done from the United States and Israel. So there are some things that might be modified in that could get it to move forward. But certainly, immediate relief, economic relief would have to be out there. There would have to be some way that both sides could point to the agreement meeting their needs. The strait opened, the nuclear ambitions of Iran being circumscribed, as was happening during the negotiations, but immediate economic relief for the Iranians as well is something that could be put on the table there and allow this to go forward. But short of that, I would be surprised to see success.
Gina, how long do you think this is going to go on for?
Ooh, again, that tiger. The Iranians appear willing to absorb an enormous amount of hurt from the United States and Israel. We haven't yet seen internal fracturing in the leadership. The IRGC is well understood to be in charge and to be hardliners. Wherever they all are, they probably intend to stay. President Trump has a reputational burden for himself personally and for the United States. It is hard to walk away without a clear definition of a credible success for having started a war and meted the destruction, the loss of life. Was it worthwhile? That is the question he's going to have to answer to the American people, as well as our allies in the Gulf who have suffered and the rest of the world. Because of that, this could go in a low intensity faction. This could go on for a while.
What's a while?
Well, that I don't know. It if the Iranians continue to charge, if the president goes back to the Strait of Hormuz is not our problem. Others will figure that out, or it'll open naturally as soon as we declare victory and walk away. Perhaps the Iranians will simply charge people and shipping will continue through. Many of the war aims, the military aims, have indeed been met by the U.S. military. So there are elements where he could declare victory.
Okay, Gina, thank you very much. Putting you on the spot there, but you're one of the best people to ask about this. Gina Abercrombie-Winstanley, thank you. Middle East expert, senior fellow at the Atlantic Council and a former US ambassador.